Listen, we got the cards. Make sure we don't leave these cards, Brother Yeager. See, you get them cards out that bag. So we got the cards, the promotional cards. This one is for the Newport News Church, but this is how it looks. You got all the information on it. So as we get to this summer, we want to get out here and really be engaged in sharing the information, okay? Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give y'all elevator talk. Y'all know what an elevator talk is? It's your ability to describe and let people know what you're doing, where you are in a matter of 30 to 45 seconds. Amen? So you can time me if you want. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through it. We got a wonderful church, innovative, progressive, here in Williamsburg, 202 Alesa Drive. Listen, if you want to see what's going on, go to our website. Now, they're going to see my website, but they still know they where? At 202 Alesa Drive, right? Go to the website. Look at the YouTube videos. Look at the archive. Check the ministry out before you even come. Let us know how you like the ministry. Let us know how you enjoy it. And come on out and check us out, right? So what are you going to say? Here, take this card. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the website, fbjc.com. Look at the videos. Look at the live. Here are some people that quick, fast. Listen, you ain't got to sell nothing. The website is selling. The website is selling. The YouTube. Got a YouTube channel. Listen on TV. Listen on TV. Does not matter what is being promoted until we get the website here built, until we get the content built here that really represents us well. It doesn't matter what they're going to see. It's still a product of what they're going to get when they come here. Amen? It's just a different location, right? So, you know, the radio station is on. I don't know how many of y'all been able to get it. But if you can't get it, there's an app. Tell people about the app. Simple radio. Tell them about the app. Because I tried to use the app. The app was working. She's not a electrician. She's a technician. So this is the way to overcome the issue, because we got a big issue. People can't get it clear, staticky, not understand that. Listen, the app is clear for the most part. And that's the only detail I'm going to list off this problem, because we didn't know about the app. We didn't know the situation got stopped. So the app is not on the card, as we were putting the app on the card along with the radio. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So this is another way we're trying to market. So listen, we got to tell people, listen, we got a wonderful progressive church in Williamsburg, 202 Alesa Drive. Listen, go to our website, fbjc.com. View the ministry. Watch it live. Watch the archive video. Join us on our radio station, and if you and here's the information for the app that you can download, so we can make sure you hear it clear, right? And then say, when you like what you see, come visit. If you don't, go to the cross. That's cool, right? So you ain't got to be all preaching. You ain't got to be out there begging people to come to church. That's why marketing has the right kind of video footage, have the right kind of materials printed that are quality, are very important. Amen? So we're trying to get good pictures. We want to get good video presentation, because then I can Facebook it and then get the tweets, sponsored Facebook ads, and we can directly target Richmond, Newton County, here. All those places we can market to the Williamsburg area and make sure people. You have seen that people. No, it's the radio, simple radio. It's a simple radio. So we got to put that on the car. Okay? I like that hat you got on. You all of you got a hat today. All of you. You know, Texas is beautiful. Easter right? Any Sunday. All right. 9:30 starting first Sunday in May. 9:30. Make your adjustment. It's still not early. I'm up at 6:30 every Sunday morning. We got 8:30. We start at 8:30. So 9:30 today, right? And 9:30, 10 up in North Church is trying to start service. We're going to have a great worship this morning. We're going to enjoy the music. We're going to have praise and worship. We'll feel the strength of the word of the music. The God is in the best schedule. You all feel God is in the best schedule. So I need we lead. John is 12th chapter and the 23rd verse. And I believe once we grow to the point where we need to I believe we're going to see a lot more John 12:23. And Jesus answered, saying, the hour is come, and the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall in the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto eternal life. Now I want you to look at the text, because it's very important as we look to resurrection to understand something that makes resurrection powerful and so important to us as believers on this wonderful Resurrection Sunday. Now you look at this, that Jesus says that number one, through death, he's going to be glorified. Can I say this to you? You have to understand you're going to have to change your paradigm about death. Jesus understood that death did not diminish you. He understood that death brought you more influence. He said, watch this, he said, the Son of Man is going to be what? Glorified. Glorified. Now, he's talking about the fact that he's going to be glorified post-resurrection, right? That through this process called death, he is going to go and expand his brain, expand his influence, and expand his capacity to reach more people. You got to understand, he says, verily, verily, I say unto you, now watch this, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. Now, I want to take my time here because listen to Jesus' analogy of death. His concept of death is not a morbid attitude towards death. His attitude towards death was to say, as long as the weak liveth, it abideth alone. But when it what? Die, fall in the ground and die, it bringeth forth more fruit. Now, watch this. So Jesus' concept and paradigm of death is so much different from even those of us in the church. Because even as believers, because even with us as believers that believe in the resurrection, many times our perspective on death is morbid. It's like, it's the end, it's over. You know, everybody's so sad and pitiful. But Paul said, we don't have this problem as unbelievers. We have this hope. Now, what is this hope? The hope that what Jesus said and the faith that what Jesus said about it is really true. That your real productivity, your real fruitfulness, your real influence and expansion comes not before death, but after death. Now stay with me. I know it's Resurrection Sunday, but I got to help you understand that resurrection is never going to happen until death takes place. The whole issue surrounding resurrection is Good Friday. And without Good Friday and without him going into the ground for 3 days, there is no need or no concept of resurrection. So therefore, if there's no resurrection, everything we doing, everything we praise, the worship, the word, the prayer, all the things that we do as Christians is for naught. Are you hearing me? So think about this now. Sometimes we got to wrap our mind around the fact that Jesus does not approach death like we do. He says, I understand, watch this, as long as I'm here on this earth alive, I can only mentor 12 disciples. My ministry is only going to go a 50-mile radius. I can only be one place at one time. He says, I'm very limited, even as God. I'm limited in this fleshly body about really the impact and the effect that I can have on the world that I came to save. Are you with me? He said it is only through my death that my influence is going to spread worldwide. He says, now, watch this. What Jesus is really saying is, I'm going to be more famous after death than I was before death. He says, if the grain of wheat dies, then it produces more fruit. So Jesus does not look at death as some morbid event. He looks at it as an event for promotion. So what you have to understand real quick is that death is a pit stop. Hear me. Death is just a pit stop. Tell your neighbor, death is just a pit stop. If you ever looked at a race, you ever looked at the Indy 500 or one of those races, and some of them, I don't like them because they boring. But when I did watch them, what you notice is every now and then, the car made a pit stop. And what did that pit stop do? That pit stop, what? Put new tires on the car. If something was smoking, they fixed that. If it needed gas, they put gas in it. They fixed all the things that happened to it while it was on that peg of the race. Now, here's the deal. This is the same thing that death is for us. Death is just a what? Pit stop. It's not the end. It's just a pit stop. Why? Because in that pit stop, you're going to get some new tires. Okay, you ain't going to get no new tires, but you're going to get some new feet. Right? At that pit stop, you're going to receive energy. You're going to receive a makeover. You're going to receive a new motor, a new heart, a new life. Mortal is going to put on immortality. So death is not final. Death is a pit stop. Tell your neighbor, say, I'm getting close to needing a pit stop. Come on. Yeah. Your arthritis, bursitis, back aches, headaches. Come on, somebody. Toe aches. Corns on your toes, all of that. All of that is a part of your car is running, and gas. Come on, the older you get, the more you're running out of gas. Hello, touch your neighbor and say, I might be on half empty right now. You have to understand that at some point in time, this vehicle is going to diminish, and you're going to need a new vehicle. But thank God the resurrection gives us a vehicle that never is going to ever need a change again. That's why the Bible says mortal puts on immortality. Are you hearing me? Listen, you sitting here and look, you got to understand. Let me get on out of here. Because I'm spirit, watch this, because I'm spirit, because I came from spirit, I'm going back to spirit. My time here is quite limited and will soon be over. Listen, I'm 56 years old. I'm already resolved that life is short. And listen, I ain't got no problem with that. You got to understand, you got to make up in your mind that life is going to be what life is going to be. Can somebody say amen? So my time here is limited. It's going to be over. Whether I live to 33 or 103, in the context of eternity, it really doesn't matter. She died at 20. He died at 105. At the end of the day, you're dead. At the end of the day, your life is over. And guess what? In eternity, it don't even matter. What's 20 years in eternity? What's 15 more years in eternity? Matter of fact, Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and asked for more life. And God gave him how many more years? Was it 15? 15 more years. And guess what he did with the last 15 years that he was extended? He screwed it up. He asked for 15 and messed it up. He would have been better just to go out on a high note, right? He stuck around. God granted his prayer, and now he made a mess out of the last 15 years of his life. Are y'all hearing me this morning? I'm trying to tell you something about resurrection. You have to understand that here's the problem. You got to understand that in the context of eternity, whether you live to be 140, I don't care if you live to be 500 years, and I don't know who would want to live at this point with the way the world is going on now for 500 years, but if you live for 500 years, that still ain't but a blink in eternity. Blink your eye real quick. Do that. That's how long. And blink. Now, do a long blink. Now, that's your life in eternity. That's your life. That's how long you on this earth. Your life is shorter than a blink when you look at what? Eternity. Can somebody say amen? So here's what you got to put things in perspective. Because a lot of people are trying to live. Listen, let me help put things in perspective now. All flesh has an expiration date. Oh, I got to hurry up. I just want to tell you, all flesh has an expiration date. Just like the meat you buy in the grocery store. Just like canned goods. Come on. I don't care what it is, it has an expiration date. All flesh has an expiration date. Get it in your mind. And it has no long-term value. The shelf life of your flesh is not long at all. It's very short, to say the least. Therefore, hear what I'm saying, there's a certain joy, peace, gratefulness. We must know that while on this earth, we are still connected to God and Creator. Spirit that sustains me, empowers me, and works through me. If you are on this earth and you don't have a spiritual connection that brings you peace, joy, fulfillment, and sustains you in this earth, you are already in trouble. Say amen. Many times, many of us still have not learned there is but so much happiness and fulfillment you're going to have that comes from this earth and what it can accomplish for you. I got to move fast. I wish I had time to really take my time. But here's what I want you to do today. I want you to get it in your mind that people got this saying there talking about, I'm living my best life. You living your best life and broke. I'm living my best life. And you can't even make relationships work. You living your best life and you'll never work in your dream career. You living your best life and at your best life, listen, touch your neighbor and say, if this is your best life, I hate to see your worst life. You're sitting up there talking about, I'm living my best life. You ain't living, what best life? You ain't got enough money to rob Peter to pay Paul. And you can't rob Peter because he broke too. At the end of the day, talking about I'm living my best life. And your best life is still not going to fulfill you. Can I say something to you real quick because I got to go. Listen, Solomon had 500 wives. No, 500 concubines and 300 wives. What you going to do with 500? 800 women in a lifetime. Hello, somebody. No Viagra. Just no Cialis. You got 800 women. All colors, all sizes, all different nationalities. He got the Chinese, the Asians, the German, all of them. He had access to all of them. But at the end of his life, he said what? Vanity, vanity, all is vanity. At the end of his life, after eating all the food he could eat, living the best life he could live, having every woman under the sun, he came to the conclusion, at the end of the day, the sun comes up, it goes back down, you work, and you try to enjoy whatever fruit of life you can get. The total accomplishment in most people's lives, if they can live, have a place to stay, food on the table, and clothes on their back, they did something. I told people, I don't care what my wife said, I done told these people, and I make no bones about it. Listen, let me tell you something. Don't be resuscitating me, and if I'm out and they cut my leg off, let me go ahead. Don't wake me back up. Don't wake me back up, because here's what I understand. Here's what I understand. No, I'm just like that. Don't wake me back up, because guess what? I'd rather have 2 legs on the earth, right? Or go get me 2 legs. I'm not going to be standing around here, my wife rolling me around. No, I'm not having that. She's too young and pretty for that. She need to go and get her somebody. Say amen. I'm not going to be around here slobbing on myself. I don't want my children wiping my hind parts. Come on. I don't want all. Listen, let me go. You sit here, toe up from the floor up, holding on. Come on, let me live a little longer. No. You can't find your teeth. Come on, I need to. You walking around, don't know where you at. You getting lost, running out the house. Can't nobody find you. Just go on to heaven. Go on to heaven. Amen. I'm not trying to be facetious, but that's the way I feel about it. Listen, sometimes quality life outlasts long life. I'd rather have a quality life than to live a long time toe up, can't find my teeth, bursitis, back aching, head, can't hardly see, glaucoma done covered up both eyes. I can't walk. I can't get out the house. You got to roll me around. No, life at its best. You're going to get some real quality years, but somebody know in here, life at its best is short. Can somebody say amen? I'm getting ready to get out of here, but you got to understand, we don't understand, and no matter what I say, some of you just don't get it. You're going to live in this fantasy for the rest of your life. What are you talking about, Bishop? Here's the fantasy many of us are living in. You ready to hear this? You ain't saying nothing, so maybe I need to go preach this somewhere else. At the end of the day, let me say this to you. I don't care. It's been proven repeatedly, and we still have the fantasy in our mind that if we could get to a certain status, if we could make a certain amount of money, get in a perfect relationship. Hello. somehow that's going to make us happy. We got that in our mind. We really do say, if I could get enough money, if I could get the right boo. Amen. And most of the time you think you're getting a boo, you're getting a boo-boo. Okay. But if I could get the right money, if I could get the right relationship, if I could get the right status, if I could get the right friends, I'd be set, be living my best life. At the end of the day, you have failed to understand that none of these things are going to give you true peace. None of these things are going to sustain you. None of these things are going to fulfill you. None of these things are really going to help you become at peace with yourself. Can somebody say amen? See, you got to understand these things are temporal. Many times because of our immaturity, we don't realize that this is true until we are almost dead. When we are almost at death's door, then we figure it out. None of those things really did it for me. And when we get to the end of our lives, all of a sudden, we begin to, almost at death's door, sick, accident, or some crisis puts our mortality back in our face. Then we come to the conclusion that what is it really that life has to offer? One person commits suicide every 40 seconds. Listen to me. One person commits suicide every 40 seconds. Others die prematurely. Others die alone, depressed, and isolated. Anthony Bourdain, 61 years. Traveled all over the world, ate exotic foods, went to exotic places, had $1.2 million when he was found in a room hanging from a cord that he put his own neck in. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. How can you be 61 years old, famous on television, making more money than you can spend, going to every exotic place on the earth, living your best life, and somebody find you by yourself in a room in the dark, hanging from the ceiling like a chandelier? Simone Battle, celebrity singer and actress, 25 years old. 25 years old, young, African-American girl, 25 years old, beautiful, getting all the gigs, getting shows, could sing, living her best life, traveling, doing the things that most of us dream about doing. And at 25 years old, she was found hanging by a rope. 25 years old, living the life that all of us look at TV and fantasize about. And why did she kill herself? She killed herself because she had financial issues. Listen, when she died, she was worth $100,000. Look, if I had $100,000, I think I'm going to live to spend that. At least if I'm going to kill myself, that's going to be gone. Say amen in here. 25 years old, everything going for her, hanging from a rope. And you say, oh, if I could be that, oh, I wish I could be this. I wish I could be that. I wish I was this. Okay, Charmaine Dargan, a newscaster, reporting everybody else's news and had bad news for her own self. Talking about other people's lives and other people's story, but nobody knew how dark her own story was. Sitting up there on the news, had her star career, making plenty of money, sitting up there on celebrity status every week, and then she goes to a place in her country, stands, gets on a train, and then throws herself from the train. Y'all not hear me? Jumping from a Gap train. Why? Because what we need to understand, that true joy, true peace, true fulfillment, this earth cannot give us. The old folk used to sing it and we stopped singing it, but we need to start singing it again. This joy I have, the world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. You know why you sad? You know why you miserable? Because you done left the peace of God and you're running behind all of this other stuff, trying to find fulfillment, trying to find your ancestors, trying to find a black Jesus, trying to go back to Africa, talking about how wonderful Egypt is, and you still lost. You can go wear red, black, and green. You can wear the Jewish star. You can wear no star at all. At the end of the day, flesh is but a few days and full of trouble. At the end of the day, if you don't have the peace of God, if you don't have God, if you're not connected to a spirit, if he's not connected to you, there is no real joy. There is no real peace, and you'll never be fulfilled. Relationships won't do it. People won't do it. Money won't do it. Status won't do it, because if that would do it, these people would still be alive today. Why are they dead? Had everything. Look how these superstars are dying. Look at them. Short lives. Michael Jackson died alone in pain. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Prince died alone in pain. If fame was going to make them happy, if money was going to make them happy, if all the desires of their flesh and things they were getting out of this world was going to make them happy, they would still be alive today. Y'all ain't going to talk to me. If earthly status was able to sustain the joy, peace, and fulfillment in these people, this is living proof that it won't. Yet many people are working hard to find happiness and fulfillment on this earth. The truth of the matter is, your greatest impact on the earth will never be appreciated while you're here. Let me just be real clear and let me talk to you for real, because as long as you're here, people really not going to appreciate you. You will never get the support you think you're going to get. Your friends, your people ain't going to be able to sustain you. You ain't going to ask the Nipsey Hussle. Your friends and the very best people, and you go back to your neighborhood trying to give back, and the same people you go back and try to help will shoot you down in the ground. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing up in here. We see it time and time again that the people that we try to be like are already dead while we're still here. You ain't gonna say nothing. It's amazing how we're taken for granted as long as we're here. And this is what's wrong with us. We're looking for somebody to value us. We're looking for somebody to appreciate us. We're looking for fulfillment. We're looking for somebody to give us some kind of value. And the truth of the matter is, people can't give you value that don't know their own value. People can't help you because they really can't help themselves. And the people you're looking for affirming and to give you accolades and to say thank you. How many know thank you don't come that often? You got to understand that if you're looking for that in all the wrong places, you're going to come up, your expectations are going to be destroyed. You're going to be sitting in the corner sad, mad, and angry because ain't nobody talked about you. Ain't nobody did right by you. Ain't nobody gave you nothing. Why? Because you shouldn't have been looking for it from them in the first place. You should have been connecting back with the God that loved you in the first place. Come on. Don't nobody love you like Jesus. Don't nobody love you like the Lord. Ain't nobody gonna do you like Jesus. Can't nobody do you like Jesus. Touch your neighbor and say, can't nobody do you like Jesus. He'll be a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He's the God that saw your faults and saw your needs. He's a God that does not care of what your station in life is. He shed his blood and he died on the cross, and he saw that you were valuable enough to give up everything to come down here and die for you. But you know who you running to the club, running out with your friends, running around with people, trying to find fulfillment and don't know they can't give it to you. You're smoking reefer because it's free now or it's legal now. You're drinking, you're doing all of these things. You're shaking your butt. You're running to a club, trying to find a boo. And guess what? At the end of the day, you go home lonely, sad, and no fulfillment. At the end of the day, I got to go away from here because I feel like preaching today. At the end of the day, here's what you got to understand. Here's what you got to understand. Listen to me. If you don't hear nothing else I got to say, most people are worth more dead than they are alive. That's why you need to get the insurance. At least if you're broke while you're alive, you can leave somebody some money when you're dead. Because as long as you alive, they can't get a dime from you. Y'all ain't going to talk to me. I got to go. Lord, let me get up out of here. Listen. Let me say this to you. Can I talk to you real quick? I got to shoot you straight. Michael Jackson was worth $500 million when he was alive. Guess how much he was worth since he dead? $1.5 billion. They don't miss you till you're gone. Hello, somebody. Prince was worth, according to my research, $25 million. His net worth was $25 million when he died. Guess how much he was worth after he died? $200 million. Can I say Jesus knew what he was talking about? You will never be celebrated in life like you will be in death. Y'all, I got to close my iPad right now. Touch your neighbor and say, you don't celebrate me now. You will never be celebrated in life like you are in death. Can I talk to you? How many people show up to your anniversary? How many people will show up to your wedding? How many people will come to your 50th birthday party? How many people going to celebrate you in life? The truth of the matter is you can have a wedding right now. People will RSVP and then won't even show up to eat the food that you paid $50 and $60 and $75 a plate. You'll go to your little reception and your heart will be broken because plates will be empty, because the people that you expected to come and support you, not only will they not show up, but they won't even send you money to cover your plate. They won't even send you a doggone gift. Somebody say amen up in here. You can have a birthday, rent out a place and invite people and give it to them free, and they still gonna make an excuse why they can't come. You ain't gonna talk to me up in here. You can have something important in your life going on, and the people you love and the people you think love you, that say, look, I'm gonna be there. When the time comes, they start calling. I can't make it. Traffic is busy. I couldn't find nothing to wear. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me up in here. These people that you're trusting and trying to get fulfillment out of, they will not show up. But let me say this, have a funeral and they'll pack the church out. Have a funeral and they'll make sure you come. They want to come just see if you dead. And they'll say some stupid stuff like this. They look better now in the coffin than they did when they was living. My God, they did a good job on her. Wow, doesn't she look beautiful? Doesn't she look so peaceful? Listen to me. Guess what? If you can't celebrate me in life, don't show up when I'm dead. I'm going to tell my wife to turn me over and then cut my backside out so that everybody that come in there that didn't celebrate me in life can know what they need to do. Because at the end of the day, if you can't celebrate me in life, don't show up when I die. Y'all, if you can't love me, if you can't celebrate me, if you don't appreciate me now, touch your neighbor and say, if you can't celebrate me now, don't even come to my funeral. When I have a funeral, I'm going to put some names on the screen. And I'm going to say, everybody whose name is on the screen, I want you to stand up. And at the end, when I say, I'm going to say, now everybody's name on this screen, you can get out. Because you won't hear when I needed you. Y'all ain't going to talk to me. You won't hear when I wanted you. You won't hear when I was crying. You won't hear in my darkest hour. You won't hear when I was going through hell. You won't hear when I didn't have nobody to turn. Where were you when I needed you? Where were you when I had a birthday party? Where were you on my anniversary? Where were you when I needed you? You were nowhere to be found. So don't show up when I'm dead. I can't see you no how. Matter of fact, you can just put me in a cardboard box and roll me over in a ditch. I could care less. I don't need no funeral. God, why? This body is not mine. I got to go now. This is just a tomb I'm living in. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, your body is just a temporary tomb. And thank God Jesus was only in a temporary tomb. Listen, they put him in there and rolled a stone over it and said he gonna be here forever. But how many know Jesus is not going to stay in the tomb, because resurrection is coming on Sunday morning. Y'all ain't hear me. They put guards in front of the door to keep the enemy from coming to get him. They tried to hold him on Saturday and late Friday, and they tried to hold him all night long. But guess what? When they showed up on Sunday morning, he was no longer in the tomb because of the power of the resurrection. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, this old tomb ain't gonna last but so long. This tomb has arthritis in it. This tomb is gonna be disappointed. This tomb will never make enough money. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, this tomb is just temporary. But I heard Paul say, those that are led, they shall be transformed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. And those that are alive and remain, they shall be caught up to meet him in the air. And behold, mortal is going to put on immortality. And this old body is going to give up this old bones. It's going to give up this heartache. It's going to give up this disappointment. And in resurrection power, the same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is going to quicken this mortal body. And touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm getting up on Sunday morning. I'm getting up out of here. See, why are you looking for things on this earth? And all those people that left God out there running around trying to shake the booty in the club, dropping it like it's hot. They trying to get booed up. They done had 8 boos and don't nobody want them. They can't find no relationship. Why? Because only the real peace comes from God. You ain't gonna get this. You ain't gonna get this from a boo. You ain't gonna get this from a club. You ain't gonna get this from being affiliated with a certain person. You ain't gonna get this from marriage. All y'all want to be married, you better stay single as long as you can and learn to be single and mingle without the tingle. Come on here. You need to understand that the only thing that's going to give you real peace, the only thing, after you done searched all over, let me save some of y'all young people, a lot of heartache. He ain't going to do nothing but take you and leave you. He ain't going to do nothing but mess over you and then talk about you and put you on Facebook. Why you think you going to find him that? Come on, somebody. You can't find a man, you go looking for a woman. Now the man, he can't get a woman, so now he go find another man, and the women looking for women, and everybody's looking for some satisfaction. And true satisfaction only comes from a resurrected Christ. True satisfaction. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. Looked high and low, still couldn't find nobody. Why? Because there's nobody greater than him. Let me tell you something. As I close, the only thing gonna fill up that empty spot in your life is a resurrected Christ. And guess what? When he's resurrected in you, then you can look forward to a resurrection. Because you know what? No matter how much money you got, you're going to get old. And no matter how much money you got, things going to happen in your life. And guess what? Paul, the writer says, a man's days is only a few days and full of trouble. At your best life, you still got to deal with the same thing Michael, Prince, and all of your favorite people. Why they gone? Because they didn't have the power of a resurrected Christ. God bless you.
Praise God. Praise God. That was amazing.